Congratulations. You said afterwards you'd been analysing Roger since you were 6 years old. Can you just explain that? What have you been doing and what study do you do on your opponents?
Don't think of something extraordinary like watching statistics and doing that kind of stuff. No, I didn't do that. I was just watching matches, trying to understand that the patterns and the way, and the mental side as well, the way they think in the court. Because these players, I mean, they are the best example if you want to make it big in the game. So in that way, I meant analyzing. I didn't, not too much, not expert level, you know. Just by watching matches, highlights. I mean, there are great players to watch. Him, Rafa, Djokovic, very good examples of how to improve your game. And I'm pretty sure it helped me.
On that point, I remember you kind of saying at Wimbledon that you'd been watching the Federer-Sampras match like 2 or 3 times on your way to kind of the 4th round. Is that a match you watch every slam, or do you just watch them caught by by surface? Do you know what I mean? Were you just watching that at Wimbledon, or have you been watching that here as well?
I haven't watched that match here in Melbourne yet. But actually that was the 4th round as well. That's crazy. What a coincidence. I did watch that match when I was playing Wimbledon, grass courts. I did watch a couple of his matches in the past that he played on hard courts. I watched a few highlights of him on the best possible platform, YouTube. It's a platform that I'm not paying to say that or anything. It's a platform that I used to do the analyzing, as you said. And I watched some highlights of players that beat him in Grand Slams. I was actually not Rafa or Djokovic, some other players that have beaten him in the past in US Open. Very similar game style like me. I will not say which player. But he did beat him in US Open a few years ago, and that was a good example to see the way he played and the way he fought into the match to get that win. So I'm pretty sure that helped today.
I understand you spent some time with Andy Murray at a training camp for a while. Could you tell us what you gained from that and the effect it might have had on your development as a tennis player?
I mean, I have practiced with him 3 or 4 times in the past, and that was many years ago. That was 2 years ago. I don't know if that's considered many, but I did practice with him. He got invited to the Muratoglu Tennis Academy, my training base, and we had a couple of hits with him during that week. So I learned a lot. I learned that you need to be a hard worker to make it big, because he did stay in the court during all of our practice sessions more than 3 hours, and he would work on many things. So that was inspiring to see. The way he worked, the way he developed as a player, even though he was, at the time, I think he was top 5, if I'm not wrong. He was in the top 5, so that definitely helped me a little bit to understand, to get a better taste and understanding of what's going on in that level of tennis. So I think for sure it had an impact on me.
Stefanos, you saved every single break point today.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you.
You saved every single break point today. There were 12 of them, and even in Hoffman Cup you didn't drop your serve against them. I'm just wondering, how do you explain that, and what's your mentality like on those important points?
I was just serving well. Sometimes I didn't serve first serve. Sometimes I would start the rally with the point with the second serve. I think I was just very aggressive from the very beginning. From his return, I managed to not make any mistakes, stay in the point, make him play. And most of the times he missed. Most of the times I saved those break points. It was actually very mental, I would say. I could have cracked at any moment, but I didn't, because I really wanted it bad. and I showed it on the court, and obviously, and for sure, that mental toughness helped a lot. For it could have been a different match if I wouldn't stand that pressure.
Congratulations on your incredible achievement. Thank you. At the moment when you finally prevailed on the match point, what went through your mind? What does this triumph mean to you?
A flashback of, I don't know, just happiness, pure happiness. It was a very emotional moment. It was something really, a beginning of something really big. I felt joy. I felt happiness. I felt a huge relief going out of my shoulders, and that moment is definitely something that I will never, ever, ever forget. This match point is gonna stay. I'm pretty much sure forever for the rest of my life.
And the flashback was
of Federer, watching Federer, and that I just managed to close that match and stay strong and beat my idol. My idol became, my idol today became pretty much my rival.
Stefanos, John McEnroe said on the court that this match was the changing of the guard. I'm sure you wish that's true, but do you believe it's true?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
John McEnroe said on the court
He said,
that...
I did, yeah.
I'm sure you wish that is true, but do you believe that this match is the changing of the guard?
I try to take every match differently. For sure, it's a good win against Roger. We all know who Roger Federer is and what he has done in tennis. But I still have to keep my focus, keep my concentration on further goals that I want to achieve. That's a very good beginning. I need to stay humble. This win is definitely a good milestone, let's say, a good first step, as I said, to something bigger. I do feel like my game is pretty good at the moment. I feel confident. That's very important. And I'm really pumped and excited to be competing in the quarterfinals in 2 days from now. I'm really waiting for that moment.
Stefanos, in your next match, you face another player who has never been to a Grand Slam quarterfinal before. I guess that's probably not what you'd expect. So, how does that challenge maybe change?
Same thing as Federer. Every player should. These players obviously are different than any other player. They need something. You need something extra to beat those players, and I did show that today. But if I manage to keep the same levels of concentration like I did today, same patience, same mental toughness, and willing to fight, I'm pretty sure it's gonna go pretty well. But I do have to, again, as I said, stay humble and concentrated on those, the goals that I've set this year. This match is very important to me, so I'm gonna try to fight hard again and give my best soul out on the court.
Stefan Polikala. Going back to square one after such a great achievement, and you've had great achievements before, is never easy. How do you plan to do it, and what are your perspectives on the remainder of the tournament? Can you go all the way?
For sure. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm playing for the trophy, for the title. Again, I feel good. I really want it badly. I really want to proceed further in the tournament. To make myself happy and the people that are cheering for me happy. I really like this atmosphere that's on the court and the whole dynamic of it, I would say. It just feels so nice to be playing in these courts, and it's spectacular. And I really want to stay here as long as possible. That's my goal.
Stefanos, I'm curious if you got to see, obviously it was really good inside the stadium, but if you saw what was happening outside with all the...
Someone told me, that they were cheering all the time. Were they Greek fans? Yeah?
Yeah, it was most of the Greeks, they were outside the stadium watching on the screen and being very loud.
I didn't hear them, but I do appreciate the support.
You
You mentioned YouTube earlier. I'm curious what happened to your Sydney video.
Yeah.
What happened to it?
How do I know? No, but yeah, I had to delete it. It was for some reasons, because yeah, I did realize that this footage from Sydney is not allowed. It's not allowed to fly drones in the city. So for the better, I mean, for the better good, or for not to get in trouble, I prefer not to have that video online. It's but it was a very nice video. It took me hours to make, and no, it actually was really spectacular. It was nice to watch. But unfortunately, I just don't want to get into any more. You know, I don't want to get into trouble because of that.
Stefanos, your playing style is very instinctive. Do you make a game plan before you play, or was there some other way you go about approaching points and problem solving?
Actually, both. I do have a plan before I go to the court, and sometimes, yeah, decision making during the match, what feels right, what I see on the court is, you know, if I take a decision, I won't hesitate. That's what pretty much I've changed since in my development as a player. I stopped being hesitant of what I'm gonna do when the ball is in front of me. I know from a bit like earlier, or from the very beginning, where I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna do, what's my plan with that shot. So that's something that I have improved a lot, and yeah. Playing these guys, you always have to have a clear plan and know what you're doing on the court. Otherwise, you are pretty much screwed. Yeah.
What was the plan versus Roger?
Well, I mean, if I tell you, it won't be a secret anymore. I prefer not to say it. I prefer to keep it for myself. Thank you.
We'll take one last question.
Hi, Stefanos. 1.5 years ago, you were still playing challengers. If you could point out the main difference between the Stefanos of 1.5 years ago and the one that's sitting right here.
That's what I said. I mean, just one of the things that I mentioned right now. This decision making. Sorry. Serve has improved a lot. Also, it's part of the decision making. I stopped being hesitant of where I'm gonna serve, what I'm gonna do. I feel comfortable going anywhere. Baseline of obviously I have improved physically. I can play longer, be aggressive more than before, and I actually feel like now with the Stefanos of 1.5 years ago, I have more confidence. I do know what I'm doing on the court, and I think that's a big difference since 2 years ago.